Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome to the National News Broadcast, bringing you your top stories for tonight. I am Lakshita Singha.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines. Kehelia resigns from the environmental ministerial post. The president says regional cooperation is essential to minimize the effects of climate changes. Minister Bandula says that there was a shortage of 10 trillion rupees last year. A sum of 10 billion rupees has been allocated to conduct elections this year. Persons of totally impaired hearing are able to get driving license for light vehicles. The Buckingham Palace announces that King Charles is diagnosed with cancer. We now move on to those and other stories in detail. Let's take a look at local stories first. President Ranil Wickremesinghe calls for regional collaboration in climate change mitigation efforts. The president made these remarks while addressing the South Asia Hydromet Forum 2024. In the meantime, Kehelia Rupavahini has resigned from the ministerial post of Environment.
His resignation letter was directed to President Ranil Wickremesinghe and it is reported that the president has accepted it. Kehelia Rupavahini was arrested by the Criminal Investigations Department regarding a fake deal of medicine, and later he was remanded by the courts. After that, the minister has taken this decision.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe calls for regional collaboration in climate change mitigation efforts. The president made these remarks while addressing the South Asia Hydromet Forum 2024. The inaugural session of the forum was held in Colombo this morning under the theme Unlocking Regional Synergies. The forum, scheduled to run until February 8th, aims to facilitate discussions and collaborations on hydrology and meteorology-related initiatives in South Asia. The forum, initiated in 2018, connects national meteorological and hydrological service providers from the region to promote data and knowledge exchange, addressing technical challenges and enhancing collaboration. Co-chair of the South Asia Hydromet Forum, Karma Dapchu, Director of the South Asia region at the World Bank, Dina Umali Deninga, and High Commissioner of the United Kingdom, Andrew Patrick, convened at the forum.
We consider it part of our commitment to climate change to host gatherings both at regional level as well as international level to discuss and to come to conclusions on the two issues which we face. One is adaptation and other is mitigation. In regard to mitigation, Sri Lanka is now examining how to further upgrade its meteorological organization. Last few years, both the setbacks of COVID and the setbacks of economic crisis has prevented us from investing the monies that we require. But from 2025 onwards, we will have a phased program of upgrading the meteorological network in Sri Lanka. This is but one part of what we are going to undertake in this sphere. Secondly, we realize the value of Hydromet regional network, because without a regional network, we will not be able in any way to mitigate the problems that we face in regard to climate change. South Asia is undergoing one of the worst effects of climate change. In terms of its economic potential, to lose nearly 2% of your GDP in a continent in which, other than the smaller countries of Maldives, Bhutan and even Sri Lanka, all the others are still low-income countries, and that is about 1.8 to 1.9 billion people. Just imagine what 2% is for that. How much you lose? I know it because in January, we were faced with unexpected rain. Rain should have stopped in mid-December. Yesterday, when I was out of Colombo, I met some of the members of parliament who were describing the damage to roads, to irrigation network. Since we are still coming out of the crisis and we are undergoing debt restructuring, I have a tight budget. They have very little space. Now you can imagine the problems we have to face now. From where do we take the money? And who's going to face the country? So this is why regional cooperation is important. It's not only that. We are being affected by the melting of the Himalayas. Not merely Nepal and Bhutan and Kashmir, all of us. The waters that come down from Himalayas to Ganges and Brahmaputra and then feeds into the Bay of Bengal is affecting all of us. Climate change is affecting all of us. So we have first-hand knowledge, we have experience, and that's why we in Sri Lanka will support the strengthening and even building up our regional network. I would say more than collaboration, more than cooperation. How do we build up that regional network? We need that. And more than us, even Maldives, in which part of the islands may most probably go underwater. The same would apply to Seychelles. So we will give all support to all you all in the work you do and go beyond even collaborating with each other. What we need is a regional network in which all take part. Now this is in regard to climate change mitigation. We are also, the government of Sri Lanka is promoting two measures. One is the International Climate Change University. We want to establish, and we are having discussions with some other countries, we hope to have with others, and also with a number of institutions to set this up. A stakeholder university, not one run by Sri Lanka, university. This we hope will help us in tackling climate change in our region and in Africa. Secondly, the proposal that we have made at the Dubai COP28, an important one, what we call the tropical belt. The tropical belt to be used as a carbon sink. If the tropical belt with its marshes, forests, other lands can absorb carbon, that's the best, I think the best region in the world to become a carbon sink. And what do we require? We have to ensure that there is a scheme which enables private sector firms to come into those countries and invest. That's the best way of getting investment. As I always said, no one from Finland is going to help Sri Lanka. Or for that, no one from UK is going to invest money in Mali. But if they know the climate, they are going to benefit by it, by the investments, certainly. And it's the tropical belt is not only us. In addition to it, already in Iowa, we are looking at the Indian Ocean. So let's look at a stretch. We'll be appointing a panel of experts to study this. And then whatever is left over, maybe we can go into a loss and damage fund. We don't have much hope of people just putting money into loss and damage fund. But let's look at what we have to do. The first would be that. Second would be debt relief for countries that are willing to invest there. And the third step should be the loss and damage fund. In this way, we will be coming out with our own programs of how we can help for climate change mitigation and adaptation.
In other stories, Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that there was a deficit of 10 trillion rupees between the state income and the expenditure last year. He revealed these facts at the press briefing in Colombo today to inform the Cabinet decisions. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that all types of inflows have brought only 3 trillion rupees to the Treasury last year. Even after having strict restrictions on expenditure, the Treasury had to spend 13 trillion rupees. There are 30 vulnerable bridges which need immediate renovation. However, the government cannot afford to renovate them immediately. The government does not have an income even to manage the recurrent expenditure. In response to a question regarding the Minister Keheliya Rabukwella refusing to have medicine, the Minister said that the media personnel should act in a reasonable manner without slinging mud at others. If former Minister Keheliya Rabukwella informs injustice caused by the media, as the Government Information Department, they are able to publish the truth. In reply to another query regarding Anura Kumar Dissanayaka's Indian tour, Minister Gunawardena said that President, Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers are also invited to tour in India for various seminars and workshops, and that he, as the Minister of Transport, has also travelled to India last week. Minister Gunawardena further said that India has extended a massive support to Sri Lanka during the past period as they helped to renovate the Northern Railway track and donated 20 running condition railway engines. Therefore, Sri Lanka maintains a close relationship with India.
The government has decided to award the sole ownership residential housing units of 50,000 low-income earning families under the Urban Housing Rights. Now, let's have a look at several cabinet decisions. A decision has been taken to suspend the charge of monthly rental and right of these housing units, which will be handed over to the relevant tenants living in these housing units. Accordingly, the families who pay monthly rental of 3,000 or less than the amount will be given the houses free of charge. The Cabinet has given its approval to provide the sole ownership of these housing units to the relevant tenants with freehold deeds. This decision has been presented to the Cabinet by Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. The essential and the general election this year. Funds needed for the provincial council and local government elections will be allocated from next year's budget. Based on the recommendations of the Investigation Commission, relevant election rules should be amended by the Parliament if necessary. Based on the facts presented by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in the connection, the Cabinet has given approval to take necessary measures. The Cabinet has given its nod to issue license for light vehicle to the persons totally impaired hearing. However, the license is subjected to renew every 2 years. The relevant proposal was presented by Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena.
The fifth session of the 9th Parliament will be opened by 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. The session will be ceremonially declared open by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The national television will live telecast the opening of the fifth session. The rehearsal pertaining to the ceremonial opening was held today at the Parliament premises.
The President, in a Gazette notification, concluded the fourth session of the 9th Parliament on January 26th. Following the ceremonial opening of the session, President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to present the Statement of Government Policy in Parliament. Sergeant at Arms of Parliament, Kushan Jayaratne, said that given the instructions of the President, arrangements have been made to hold the ceremonial opening of the fifth session as a formal ceremony, and thus gun salutes and motorcades shall not be held. General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Parliament, Kushani Rohanatira, said that usually when the Parliament opens ceremonially, Guard of Honours will be held. However, this time no Guard of Honours organised considering the economic situation of the country. Sergeant at Arms of Parliament, Kushan Jayaratne, said that only a limited number of visitors, including diplomats, ministry secretaries and governors, have been invited for the occasion. The Centre of Excellence at the Dambulla International Cricket Stadium was inaugurated yesterday.
This is considered as a significant milestone in the National Cricket Development Pathway Programme. This program has been aimed at providing equal opportunities to talented Sri Lankan cricketers. The event chaired by President Ranil Wickremesinghe showcased his commitment to fostering the growth of cricket in the country. President Wickremesinghe, unveiling the plaque and officially opening the centre, conducted an extensive observation tour. The facility is well equipped, featuring a hydrotherapy unit and a state-of-the-art medical centre dedicated to sports injury rehabilitation. Following this, the President inaugurated a new international-level swimming pool at the Rangiri Dambulla Stadium, actively participating in the observation of its practical activities. Beyond these openings, he laid the foundation stone to build an indoor net and practice facility, a new media centre and the redevelopment of the grandstand. President Wickremesinghe also inaugurated the latest LED lighting system at the Rangiri Dambulla International Cricket Stadium, bringing it up to international standards. The event was not only a platform for sports development, but also featured various cultural events. Minister Harin Fernando was present on this occasion.
The Sri Lanka Consulate General in Karachi, Pakistan, in collaboration with the Sri Lankan community, hosted a National Day celebration on February 4, 2024. The event was attended by a significant number of Sri Lankans and distinguished Pakistani dignitaries, including the Honorary Consul of Sri Lanka for Hyderabad, Mahmood Mandiwala. Consul General Jagat Abewardena extended a warm welcome to all attendees and highlighted Sri Lanka's 76-year journey towards establishing a democratic nation and fostering societal harmony. He emphasized the nation's strides in stabilizing its economy amidst the challenges faced by Sri Lanka in 2021 and 2022. The program featured the hoisting of the Sri Lankan national flag, the singing of the national anthem, multi-faith religious observances and a reading of Independence Day messages. Attendees were treated with an array of Sri Lankan traditional cuisines. The celebration served as a platform to commemorate Sri Lanka's National Day and showcasing Sri Lankan culture and achievements to the Pakistani community and dignitaries present.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri emphasized the importance of strengthening and carrying forward President Ranil Wickremesinghe's program to establish free trade agreements with other countries. He made these remarks at a press briefing titled Collective Path to a Stable Country held at the President Media Center today.
Thank you, friends from the media. Just give a small overview of the significance of the recent visit of Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin, Honorable Prime Minister, His Excellency the Prime Minister of Thailand. He took part on a 2-day official visit to Sri Lanka on the 3rd and the 4th. You all saw on the 3rd, he was received by the President, and he witnessed one of the most important things, signing the free trade agreement between Sri Lanka and Thailand. Then he was accompanied by a 21-member high-level delegation from the Thai Business Council. It comprises of leading businessmen in different sectors such as tourism, agriculture, IT, fisheries, and many other fields. So we see this is a very significant development for different reasons. His Excellency also took part as a guest of honor on our 76th celebration of the National Day. After that he left, and I had the privilege of seeing him off at the airport. I could say that he was very happy with the progress which he made during his stay here, though a very short one, particularly entering into that free trade agreement. Why these free trade agreements are very important for Sri Lanka? I will just give you numbers. It's important for you to understand why we are doing it. We do it with a purpose. There is facts and figures behind it, and we have to learn from the others. If you look at it, early 90s, size of our economy, export market, and Bangladeshis and the Vietnam were almost similar, about 3 to 4 billion. Today, in 2022, you can Google and check, Vietnam's export was 373 billion. Bangladeshi export was 59 billion. Sri Lankan export remained at 14 billion. What ails Sri Lanka's exports? One of the biggest problems with Sri Lanka's export, whether we like it or not, Sri Lanka is one of the most protectionist economies in the world and in the whole region. Sri Lanka economy is just 78 billion. Our GDP, the whole GDP. World is 86 trillion. The size of the Sri Lankan economy is 0.001. So there is nothing for the others to come and grab from others, though it has become a big slogan in this country. There's always, everything is there for us to go and grab from 86 trillion economy. And therefore, how do you access that? One of the models, particularly ASEAN countries, have beautifully used is free trade agreements. What do you do with the free trade agreement? Instead of supplying to 22 million people, you expand your market. You build your brands. You become very competitive. Then you become able to export in a larger scale. That's a success story of all the ASEAN countries. Sri Lanka had to do that and have to do it. We cannot be prisoners of the past. We cannot continue to say on the 16th century Solin came and invaded Sri Lanka, therefore there is a danger and all those things. Those days have gone. We are in a new world under UN sovereignty. We have to work with the world. How do we do that? So it is in that context that it's very, very important for Sri Lanka to enter into free trade agreement, expand the market for the Sri Lankan products, so the investors will come. If you only look at Sri Lanka and investors to come, there is nothing much to take from Sri Lanka. What is the Sri Lankan domestic market? But if you have a larger market with larger access to the free world, that is where the real investors will come. Serious investors will come. That's how other countries have prospered. It is in that context that President Wickremesinghe, ever since he had taken over, had made a lot of effort to quickly enter into free trade so that we give a larger market to our people and our products. We have negotiated with the free trade agreement, one with Singapore, so we need to activate that. But the Thailand one is very, very important for us. In terms of this, we are also planning technical collaboration, more joint investment, venture partnerships, free visa, in order to allow traffic from the both sides. This is not the end. We will start our negotiation on the 23rd with Indonesia, huge market, which is now expected to be the world's 4th biggest economy by 2050, with 300 million people. We are also planning to start with the other ASEAN countries. We are discussing with China. We are also want to further discuss with Indian market with 1.4 billion people, tipped to be the 3rd biggest economy by 2028 and 2nd biggest economy by 2050. So the whole world is there. We need to come to terms with it.
In the meantime, Dialog Axiata PLC has introduced a modern smartphone to the market. It has been named as Samsung Galaxy S24 series. This modern smartphone has been jointly introduced by Dialog Axiata PLC and Sri Lankan branches of the Samsung India Electronics. The smartphone was launched at the Dialog Axiata headquarters premises. Chief Marketing Officer of the Dialog Axiata PLC Group, Lasantha Thevaraperuma, and many other officials were present at this occasion.
Foreign tourists in large numbers are arriving at Sri Lanka's beautiful destination, the Ella Tourism Zone, these days. Best pure air, marvelous natural environment, wonderful creations along the railway track and many other reasons have created a huge tourism attraction for this special area. Villagers in Ella say that most of the foreigners arriving in this zone are Russians, Chinese and Indian nationals. Foreign tourists in the Ella area are now having the opportunity for innovative experiences. They are interested in engaging in numerous sports and excursions, enjoying various styles and taking snaps. Hotels, cafeterias and homestays in the area are full of foreigners these days. Income of the taxi drivers and small-scale vendors has also increased. Our correspondent says that many direct and indirect employment opportunities have been created owing to this new trend.
My name is Maria. We are from Russia.
Nice people, very kind, helpful. The food is great. The ocean is clean and warm, so we are happy to be here.
My name is Dmitry. It's one of the best place where I was every time.
Very nice, very nice. We are so happy here. All things are very, very nice, and maybe we will come again.
Very nice people. Thank you.
It's very nice. I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's a very beautiful country, and I always wanted to visit it. So right now it's the moment that I'm able to do this, so I'm very happy.
There's a lot of nature, there are a lot of animals, and the food is very nice as well. And people are very helpful.
Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva says that the regional countries should focus more attention to present and to protect marine resources in the Indian Ocean region.
He made these remarks at a ceremony organized in Colombo recently to discuss the integrity of the Indian Ocean. This has been organized by the Indian Ocean Strategic Research Center with the help of Women Transport and WILAT organization. Special attention was focused for the role of enhancing the global maritime peace and oceanic conservation. Representatives of International Marine Organization and the United Nations and a large number of public representatives were present at this discussion. They also held talks over the crisis situation.
With all the problems we are facing in the Indian Ocean, now we are trying to talk about peace, prosperity of the Indian Ocean and how our contribution should be. I had the opportunity to participate in the IORA, Indian Ocean Rim Organization, representing His Excellency the President in Bangladesh a few months ago, and we debated many of these issues there. Indian Ocean is the most important ocean for us as for the world also. As many ships go through these naval routes in the Indian Ocean, that has created very many problems also to us. Ocean has become the most important place for the livelihood of many people in the island nations as well as other nations in Asia. So we have to protect the fishing industry in the Indian Ocean, and some of the things happening in the Indian Ocean around our country is alarming. Bottom trawling and unethical fishing practices in the region has made so much of tension even between Sri Lanka and India. That has been happening through time immemorial. But have we been able to resist that? No. What is needed is to convince our own people, convince the international community, have more and more dialogue with our neighboring countries and the political leadership of each and every country, how we could preserve the ocean resources without exploiting them in such a manner that will destroy the ocean environment. If you take Sri Lanka, we are at a very important geographical location to become a hub in the Indian Ocean in the maritime sector. But we have harnessed that geographical position to attract ships and maritime activities in the Indian Ocean to some extent. But that is not enough. Therefore, our ports has to be modernized, absorb new technology, implement new methodology, and become more and more efficient. The government of His Excellency Ranil Wickremesinghe has taken very firm decisions to work together with the private sector and the foreign entrepreneurs in order to build this maritime sector. As far as the Sri Lanka is concerned, we have taken positive steps. It is our firm commitment that Indian Ocean must be peaceful, must prosper, and the people living in the coastlines and of the Indian Ocean must reap the benefit of the Indian Ocean. Their livelihood, fisheries, and many other connected industries connected with the ocean has to be uplifted in order to ensure that the lifestyle of our people are enhanced. We give them a better deal for their lives and for their economy, etc.
That's it on local stories. We'll be back with news overseas. We move on to international stories now. King Charles has been diagnosed with a form of cancer, says Buckingham Palace. The King has begun regular treatments yesterday and will postpone public duties according to foreign reports. The Buckingham Palace has indicated that the monarch remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty. King Charles has informed both his sons about his diagnosis, and the Prince of Wales was said to be in regular contact with his father. The Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, will be travelling to the UK in the coming days as per reports. The King has returned to London yesterday and the palace has said that he has started treatment as an outpatient.
විදුලි බිලෙන් හරි අඩක්ම වැය වන්නේ ශීතකරණයටයි. අවශ්‍ය දෑ ඉවතටගත් සැනින් දොරවසා දමන්න. අඛණ්ඩ විදුලි සැපයුමකට
And in sports news, Craig Howard has been appointed as the new spin bowling coach of the Sri Lanka cricket team. Craig Howard is a first-class cricketer of Australia.
He will assume duties as the new spin bowling coach of the cricket team. Earlier, Craig Howard worked as the spin bowling coach of the New Zealand national women's cricket team and the Victoria State first-class team coach. His contract is for a period of 2 years. Sri Lankan player Viren Netthasinghe has won the bronze medal of the international badminton tournament held in Iran. He returned to the island last night after the tournament. The tournament was held from the 30th of January to the 4th of February with the participation of about 200 badminton players representing 20 countries. Captain of the under-19 women's cricket team, Manudi Nanayakkara, was felicitated at a ceremony held in Moratuwa yesterday. It was organised by her alma mater, Princess of Wales College in Moratuwa. Manudi Nanayakkara was escorted to the school by a motorcade. Australia won the third one-day cricket match against West Indies by 8 wickets and claimed 3-match series win of 3-0. The final match was played in Canberra and batting first West Indies were all out for 86 runs in 24.1 overs and Xavier Bartlett of Australia claimed 4 wickets. In reply, Australia passed the victory target in 6.5 overs. Both man of the match and man of the series awards was won by Xavier Bartlett.
Great captaincy, great ball. To hand over the trophy. Should be the next wicket. Is the next.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's news bulletin. Do join us tomorrow for more of the very latest. Until then, good night.
Good night.